and it's Woman to Woman on ITV. My name is Adorable Adesiwa Osa-Owage. Today on Woman to Woman, we want to look at single parenthood. Is it sweet? Is it sour? Is there something to it? Why do single parents get shamed, particularly the women? These and many more we're going to be looking at today on the program Woman to Woman. I'm not alone. I have my friend, my sister. Blessing H is here with me. Blessing, it's nice to have you join us, and you're looking so colorful.
I should. I don't have option. Oh. Look colorful or look colorful.
And I also have with me on the show Didi Ekwenyong. Didi, it's nice to have you join us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you very much for being with us. All right, we're going to look at single parenthood, either by divorce, separation, or you're widowed, or better still, you decide not to marry, or you were in a relationship and then you got pregnant thinking that something good will happen at the end of the day, but unfortunately you find yourself single. The challenges, the pains, the sweet and sour in it all is what we're going to be looking at today. So, Blessing, let me start with you. When we talk about single parenthood, exactly what are we talking about here?
Okay, when we say single parenthood, we could be talking about a man who is a father by himself.
Okay,
by himself in the sense that maybe he's been married, widowed or divorced, or he just had, someone had a child for him out of wedlock.
It just happened,
and
baby mama thing.
Yes, he is now the one parenting the children all by himself. So, for the purpose of the show, we'll focus on the women.
Yeah.
So that could also apply to a woman who has been married, maybe divorced or widowed, or never been married, had a child out of wedlock, and so is parenting that child alone. So you could say that's a single parent.
Okay. All right, Didi, I'm coming to you. You had Blessing. So what do you have to add?
Well, there's nothing much to add to it. She's more like she has said it all. A single parent is someone maybe that got divorced, or maybe became a widow, or maybe just had kids out of wedlock, or it's not just women alone, men too, but this is a program every woman.
Okay, having kids out of wedlock, is it enough reason why a woman should be shamed?
Well, you know, we live in a very hypocritical society. Some persons want to shame you when they have more things to be ashamed of. It could go anyway. It could happen to anybody. Now, some persons are in a relationship and they feel like, oh, this relationship is moving somewhere, maybe towards marriage, and then a pregnancy comes along. But maybe something happens, there's a problem between both parties, the guy and the lady, as the case may be, and it just happens that they can't be married, and so the child is born.
But you know, most times you see a man and a woman, they're good together, they're sweet on each other, they're like, you know, bread and butter, and everything is going on smoothly. And then the moment the girl gets pregnant, you know, this is a relationship that has been tailored towards marriage. But somewhere along the line, something happens, the woman gets pregnant, and then there's trouble.
Yeah.
That is when the man will realize that he's not ready, or, oh, it's not just time, oh, really, you're not the girl. In fact, my parents don't want you.
Maybe
why is it always like that?
Planning or no seriousness, it was all about.
They were just having a good time with each other.
And
No, like the relationship is tailored towards marriage. Some people say, oh, that's my fiancé.
That means someone was not being truthful somewhere.
Exactly. Someone was not being truthful because at the time the woman is pregnant, it now dawns on the man that, hey,
this is serious.
This is something serious. So you have to just define what this is. So you can't hide anymore to say, well, we're just watching ourselves.
I wish there was a man on this program.
Yeah, some people go like, define your relationship.
Yeah, because that's
try
the
and
point.
define your relationship. Some people will dance around it. We are getting married, we are not. Define it. Is it for marriage? Is it you are just dating for dating's sake? You know?
Let's just see what's going to happen.
Yeah, because at the time there's pregnancy, other persons get involved, families get involved. So maybe the family of the woman will be asking you, what plan do you have for our daughter? She's already in the family way, so come and do the necessary marriage rites. And then you find that sometimes the guy is withdrawing and giving no excuse of, I'm not ready yet, let I have the child first, you know, and all that. And it could even be that at that time, other issues come up. Maybe it was just himself, the man he was taking care of, maybe as a girlfriend, you just give her maybe some little
stipend,
allowance,
you know.
stipend, take care of herself. But now her child has
Other
come.
expenses
So
will come in.
the expenses, the cost of taking care of a child may be putting a strain on the relationship. And so you just find that any reactions to things, other issues come up, the relationship can't work.
Okay, let's look at the issue of shaming, really. Okay, like the scenario we've just painted, and it happens like that for a girl. Why should the girl be shamed? What happens to the man? Why is the man not being
It's
involved
the
in the shaming thing?
society. It's the African thing. The
It's
way,
society,
you know, everybody just feels that you shouldn't make any mistakes. A well-brought-up girl shouldn't just go and get pregnant. It's just the way our beliefs, our traditions, you know.
It's just like in school, secondary school, for instance. I'm sure some of us had classmates who got pregnant while still in school. Even sometimes when the boy who fathered the child is in the same class, the guy keeps coming to school.
He keeps coming, the girl
and then
will
the
drop
girl
out.
stays back.
The girl is
Nobody
withdrawn
really
from school.
boos the guy, except when the friends want to just make fun, like, hey, papa, baby, you know, things like that. But you don't have people pointing at the guy. By the time he passes, like, you see that boy? Hey, he already has a child, but
But
the
it's the girl.
In some cases, the parents of the girl would have to relocate her because of the shaming. It's just a society.
Some just go ahead and abort.
Yes, because they feel like she said, oh, you're supposed to be a well-brought child. We still have that cultural norm, like you're supposed to stay chaste as a girl till you're married. But with modernity and some other things, a lot of persons engage in premarital sex and all that. So by the time you're pregnant, it's proof that you've been
That
eating
you're
the
not-
forbidden
yeah.
fruit.
Forbidden fruit, yeah.
But they want to shame you for that.
But you have to be shamed. That is
No,
it.
I heard so in recent news in one of these developed countries that a lady that gets pregnant in school shouldn't drop out.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Ekiti State.
Okay. Oh,
I think,
in
yeah.
Nigeria actually.
It's happening
Yes,
in
I
Nigeria,
was,
yes,
well,
Ekiti
you know, I
State.
wasn't really paying, but I
Yes.
heard that part of it that they shouldn't drop out of school anymore and whatever. So I believe things.
You know, for
up
most
and-
girls, the shame is too much to handle. They cannot handle the shame. So most girls will want to opt out of school. And then maybe after birthing, go back again, but to another school, another area, and all of that. Okay, we're looking at single parenthood on the program, and I want to ask this question. I'm asking Didi, because Didi have really passed through that road, okay? She has gone through that road, and she knows what it is and all of that. So Didi, talk to us. What are the challenges you're facing as a single parent? And before then, how did you even become a single parent?
Well, the marriage just didn't work. And
You know, people will wonder, what is this woman saying? The marriage
like,
just didn't
didn't
work,
work.
you know? why couldn't she make the marriage work? Why did you not make the marriage work?
you know, when there is violence, when there's risk to your life, you will not be thinking of making marriage work anymore. You'll be thinking of saving your life. You'll be thinking about how to save the lives of the children. So violence.
So what kind of violence are we looking at? Because violence could
We are
be
talking
verbal,
about
it could be
we are talking about
financial,
we
it
are
could
talking
be
about
physical.
physical violence, being beaten up like round the clock at the least provocation. You're talking about being threatened with machetes, with planks, with whatever. You're talking about you being locked in or locked out of the house. We are talking about the kids being beaten and thrown out to sleep outside. We are talking about anything.
Okay, so it was really
I mean, it was bad.
violent
Yeah,
situation.
really.
You know, sometimes people wonder, like, I sometimes wonder too. Once upon a time, the man, the woman was like sweet on each other. Oh, I want to marry you. Without you, my life is not complete. Without you, I won't be able to live. You know, that kind of sweet things. And then along the line, you know, it becomes so bad.
And you're wondering
Yes.
what
You're
You're
happened.
wondering what happened.
At
Where did I
times,
go
maybe
wrong?
we
Where
just
did I
want to
go
think that
wrong?
maybe it's just midlife crisis. Things happen along the way, maybe loss of job, anything, maybe health issues or whatever, and one person just changes and becomes another thing. And maybe we try with counseling, with different things, prayers, and it doesn't work. And I mean, it happens.
So how is life like? You know,
Well,
taking care of your kids by yourself and for yourself, just you alone.
it's
How is it
not,
like? What are the challenges you're facing?
It's not funny because you when you're used to like having maybe combined finances, the man bringing, the woman bringing, and you know, all of a sudden it's just you. Financial issues, it's not funny. So you're trying to, okay, my job alone can't do it. You look for some side hustles to add to it, and it's not easy.
Yeah, this is one area I have issues with marriages that don't work or relationships that don't work, and there's a child in between or children in from it. You know, well, relationship can fail. It could be that you fall out of love or there are other issues, and so it can't continue. But what happens to keeping your responsibility as a man or as a woman? I've also heard cases where marriage failed and then the woman dumps the children on the man and abscond, leaving the children with the man to take care of. But most
times it's the woman that takes responsibility.
So if you're no longer in love with this person or the marriage relationship can't work, what about taking care of those children, contributing your own quota? What happens to that?
Well, I think maybe it's a system, a legal system. There's no follow-up. You who is to do the follow-up? You? Like, like in my own case, what happens is you go to court and the judge goes like, okay, the man's responsibility towards the children, he has to provide monthly upkeep, pay for their fees and make sure they are comfortable, you know. Holidays, he should take them, long holidays, he should have the children, you keep the children when they're, you know. But in a situation whereby it's time for the holidays and the man is like, I'm not available. What do you do?
It's not always available.
Okay, it's time for fees. I don't have such money. It's time for books, whatever, and he's just not there. What do you do? Do you just sit down and start thinking, okay, the kids should stay back home, they shouldn't go to school?
Yes,
no,
but
you have to.
You said something about follow-up, you know? When the court passes judgment on a divorce matter,
it still falls back on you.
Yes.
If the man fails.
Why are you not doing the follow-up so that you can get some respite?
Going to court, being in court is so draining. You're talking about finances, you're talking about emotional stress, you're talking about a lot of things. It's not easy sitting in court talking about your marriage. It's a terrible feeling. It's draining mentally, as in emotionally, you're not yourself. And court sessions don't last for like short period of time. Like I spent like almost 2 years in and out of court. It was draining, it was terrible. Your money is going, your time,
and even with the court judgment,
the embarrassment,
the man is not doing anything.
Yeah,
nothing.
when you say embarrassment, I'm thinking like remarks from people.
And all of that.
No, if it's remarks from people, it will be, at least you can take that, not from the person that you were married to.
Okay,
like
you know,
ex.
it's
trading words,
saying things that maybe, so it's not an experience.
So how is the emotional roller coaster is with you?
It's for like when it newly happened, I was in shock for like a year.
1 whole year.
You know, I had family with me. My family took me in, took in the children, and they did a lot of praying. I had friends standing by me, and they were like, they saw what happened, they knew what happened. Okay, so they stood by me. They were very supportive, and I have strong sisters. They were there. They were like, man is not the end of everything. Marriage is not, you are alive. Thank God you are alive. Your life is the first thing, the most important thing. The children are alive, you are alive. Let's take it from there, you know. They were taking care of my kids. At times, I wouldn't even know what to, I'm supposed to cook, I'm supposed to take them to school. They were doing it for me. It took time for me to like come out of the shock and, you know, come back to myself. I could just be there talking and making noise and whatever, but
you're just not
when I won't be myself. And people, my colleagues tried too. At work, they were nice, they were, you know, at least the few of them that knew about it, they tried to be supportive.
But you are very lucky, because some women are not that lucky.
Some women are not lucky to have that.
Yes, I know you're not married, but I know you've got something to tell us on this.
Yes, there's even a case that happened recently where a woman had issues with her marriage, and from that point where the marriage failed, she was never herself till she passed on. In fact, it got to sadly she did. It got to the extent where she had health issues, you know, because of stress, having, like you said, to fend for your children alone. You know, one problem that women are mostly faced with is economic power. A lot of women are not able to have that much economic power to take care of their needs. Maybe because the dependency thing is much here in Africa. Yeah, so it's assumed that once you get married, just rest your case on the man. And then it happens that life changes could happen. Things could happen. The man could lose his job, and things are not as rosy as these. And then the woman has to pick up But even when the woman picks up, it's not like a woman who has been doing that for a long time. And sometimes the jobs that are available to women are not really, once a woman gets married because of society, are not things that
there are some
sometimes
jobs
there's some jobs
cannot,
doesn't bring in much.
Yeah, jobs that will keep you late out of your house. You don't want to do that kind of job. You want to do a job that you can come home early to your family. So these things restrict the economic power that a woman can have. So at times like this, it's a struggle. So to keep up with the provision, you know, financial provision and every other thing, being father and mother at the
same time,
it's something that is
draining.
So how
did you cope with the anger? I don't know if there was anger, if there was depression.
It was more like
self-denial. Like no.
Yes, there was self-denial. It was more like you're dreaming. It would be like you're dreaming because you're from a good home. People like envy your home, your church members, your neighbors. People you grew up with, people that know you, don't know, like this family are they are intact, they are like tight home and all that. So they didn't. It's not the kind of family that you expect such a thing will happen in quotes, you know. But then, it happened. I am not the type that shies away from issues. I believe if you face them, but then you when I go back in and I'm by myself, it's like, no, it didn't happen.
Okay, it didn't happen. We're going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we will definitely continue from that. It didn't happen, the self-denial thing that no,
and how you deal with that.
Yes, so the program is Woman to Woman on ITV. We have our social media handle on your screen. Use it to reach us on the program, and of course, you can call us on that line or send an SMS. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we will continue, and of course, random. Stay with us. Thank you very much for staying with us on the program, Woman to Woman. We're looking at the issue of single parenthood, the challenges and all of that, particularly in a situation where the woman is separated, whether legally or otherwise, from the husband. And Didi was in the process of telling us about, you know, the self-denial thing. At first, what comes to you is like,
it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. You know, and some will say, no, it's not my portion and all of that.
Exactly.
And, you know, that self-denial thing is one of those things that really keep women stuck to one place and say, no, I'm not leaving, I'm not going anywhere. And before you know what is happening, the woman may just die or lose her mind. Because a lot of women are out there these days who have really lost their minds because of this issue of divorce and all of that. So, Didi, we're telling us about it didn't happen. You know, it's not.
Yes.
It's not going to happen.
My family, my dad, he wasn't covering up anything. He will tell you the way it is.
Was open.
It has happened. You know, people will not want to go like it will happen. The signs were there. The handwriting was on the wall.
Yes.
We saw it coming, but we're all praying.
It don't get to
that.
That,
it don't get to
that point.
But it did, you know. So my dad will always like tell you that, man, it's not the end of time or the end of life. You better face it. It has happened. We are all going to face this squarely and you're going to come out stronger. Nothing is going to go wrong with you. You're not going to be sick. You will not fall sick on me. You know, he took me in. I was grateful. Some parents would just go like, no, you have to find a way of course, there was no way of, churches tried, pastors tried, ministers tried. There was no reconciling. It wasn't happening. The man just wants to be alone. He doesn't want children in the house. He doesn't want anybody. Just, you know, a kind of midlife crisis that, you know, after losing his job. Yes, he was fortunate to get one outside the country, but he was still not satisfied and he still felt maybe he should have had more or something. And he couldn't deal with it, and he didn't just want people around.
And he didn't want you in the picture,
you know,
either.
Because you go asking what went wrong, and he can't really tell you.
Did you suspect any woman? You know, women, we have a way of
creeping into women's we always had women issues and stuff, but that didn't affect the marriage because I looked beyond
that.
Okay,
you
so
know,
to a good extent, you tried
wasn't really
to make
looking
sure
at
that you save your marriage.
It wasn't really about women and no.
All right, Blessing, you're not married. I know you're quite experienced by way of the programs that we handle and all of that.
Yeah.
Now, when a lady is going into a relationship, in the course of that relationship, how is this girl supposed to identify the telltale signs that, look, this thing, if you manage this relationship and you get into marriage,
That's the red flag.
it will break somehow. You know, when those signs sometimes are there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
You know,
so how do
when
you
talk
identify
about
those signs? Do you
denial,
manage?
The signs are there sometimes in relationship. You can see them clearly. But there's also the denial syndrome. You like, you want to turn a blind eye on certain things because your emotions this time have been so invested in that relationship. So this person is your dream man. Is everything you've wished for. So when you see that he's the sign that he could be a wife beater, you turn your, I was just being nasty to him. You know, wasn't man.
You start making excuses.
Make excuses for him. Now this man makes you feel small, makes you feel irrelevant, like he's just helping you by being in a relationship with you. If he's gonna marry you, he's just marry out of pity. And you tell yourself like, man, the guy is hot now. There are so many ladies chasing after him. No, why would he feel that way?
I don't want to feel like a loser. So
at all. So you keep staying in it, hoping it'll get better. And then
hoping you can change the man.
You can change the man. You know,
wonderful.
What people don't change while they are with you in relationship, if they change in marriage, it's going to be a miracle. The reason I say this is because while the person is in a relationship with you, whether a man or a woman, they're still trying to win you over. So that's the point. They want to impress you with everything. But once they're married, there's this complacency like, I don't get time.
I don't get time
so
now.
What is it again? Do you get it? So there's a tendency that the person wants to be relaxed and not be on their toes to keep up with you. So these signs are there. But ladies sometimes, we ladies sometimes, turn a blind eye on them, hoping that it'll get better. If you're married, that he knows you're his wife now, he won't talk to you the way he talks to you without respect. You know, he would have respect for you and all that. And then the first year of marriage comes, you're experiencing the same thing. There's a carryover of what was happening in the relationship. Let me manage.
My mother did say, let me manage.
That, all men are the same. All women are the same. That's not true. No two persons are the same. No two persons are the same. So this generalizing issues like it's the same, you find it everywhere. Is it when you go to Peter you won't find this issue? Just stay with John. It's that way everywhere. And so women want to stay put with what's not pleasant.
Wow.
Until the point it breaks them.
And then everything goes
haywire.
All right, Didi, time is really not our friend, but I want to let you, I want you to tell us something, you know. You came out strong. And you're doing well with your kids. You know, perhaps you have a job, you're doing well, your parents are there, you surrounded yourselves with people with positive vibes, you know, who were there to encourage you, not a pack of pitying human beings, you know.
And the experience
and your father gave it to you as it is. The truth and nothing but the truth, you know, and we're able to
they sat me down and explained the challenges I was going to go through.
So the way they prepared you.
They prepared you.
Like you have to cut down on a lot of things.
Yes.
You know, you have to sit and plan on your finances, the money you have in your hand.
In your hand.
You don't just feel you can keep doing the things you used to do before, have the
you
fun,
have to cut down on some
spending
things.
and all that. So they really sat me down and prepared me and like went like it's not wrong. And this my dad told me it's not wrong if you go into another relationship, your life hasn't stopped. If you feel like dating again, please feel free. You are a Christian, you know the rules, you know but then my church, I was surprised. You're like, you have to pick up your life again.
Yes.
You have to look up. You're still young. The Bible says the young should marry. I'll go like, really? I don't even know how to do that anymore.
So you were positive about it.
I was just positive about life. I didn't believe it's the end of life. I believe life is just beginning. I'm still very young. Life is sweet, for God's sake. I have sweet children. So I look more at my kids.
Somehow you were able to overcome the challenges.
I think you're very lucky to have people who made you see things positively. You know, one thing that happens to some women in this case is one, society begins to
shame you and
make you feel like you made the marriage not to work, forgetting that it takes two to tango. And then you have people who made you understand that you have needs. And so you must, they made you
must balance it.
You must balance it, and that's one point where a woman gets married, the man dies, she's widowed or she's divorced. Society doesn't want you to move on, but they would okay it make it feel like, the man has to move on if the man was in that situation. But we've got to understand that these people have needs. Fine, you have your children, you must look after them, but there are needs your children cannot fill. For you.
All right, time is on our friend, and I want to say thank you to you, Blessing and Didi, for making time to be with us on this show. If you find yourself taking care of your kids alone, whether male or female, you have to surround yourself with positive people, people who will encourage you, people who will help you build to look beyond that problem that you're facing at that particular point in time, so that you can have a life. Don't go and kill yourself because one marriage failed, or you discover that, or you find yourself as a single parent. You know, your life is what more than the shaming, than the bashing, than the negative things that people will say. Be positive and you will be fine. And
for those shaming, take it easy. You may walk that road someday.
All right? Just calm down, all right? Ask questions before you begin to shame people. Even if you ask questions, I don't think shaming somebody for one challenge or the other is enough. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye.